Another thing, just to close the loop on this, what I wanted to talk about, because Pink had a good point about the NBA Max contracts.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about how you think it's structured wrong.
Yeah, I think I saw a graphic the other day I think the 5 highest paid guys for next year, 3 of them are really bad situations.
Yeah.
It's
Westbrook,
and I think Harden was technically listed there. It was Steph. But the way these contracts are, your Supermax increases with your years of service in the league. And again, surprise, who is the players' president? Chris Paul, 45 years old. And so you have this thing, and it's really corrupt. And it kills the teams because you're obligated to sort of pay these Supermax deals at the absolute max. I mean, a Supermax for Ja Morant is less than a Supermax for James Harden or some guy in his 30s. And then we're looking at these ridiculous numbers of a mid-30s guy in clear decline set to make $45 million in a season. That's ridiculous. That kills these teams. And that's what, the Lakers are dealing with it, and I guess the Sixers may have dodged a bullet with it. But it's just a horrific scenario. The guy's prime years are the mid to late 20s. And that's not the prime earning area under the structure of league business. And the teams are going to grow to hate it. And these opt-ins, it'd been better if he's a free agent at that. Contract's over. There's no option. It's, we've done our business. Goodbye, Russ. Good whatever. But the fact that he could literally hold you hostage for another $40 million is ridiculous. And we haven't even mentioned John Wall, who's finally free. But I literally saw a graph. I think he played 45 games on over a 4-year span in which he was making between $30 and $40+ million a season. That's ridiculous. There's just too much dead money in basketball.
Did Pink single-handedly fix the NBA Max contract? Because I love that. As soon as I heard it, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's
what I mean?
very different.
Definitely not wrong.
Need to pay the younger guys because at that point you've seen the guy for 3 to 4 years, right? So you know if he's worth a Supermax. You know if Ja and all these guys. And on the flip hand, you know if Wiseman is worth it or not. So it's not like you're going to get sidetracked or sidelined with some outrageous deal. Yeah. And on the back end, like you said, these older guys, they just don't. They're just not worth that max contract deal. So they just simply need to reverse it.
Yeah.
It needs to. The years of service shouldn't matter. In a max contract.
I agree.
A max contract.
And it should be I do like the component of it where some of the kickers on the stuff is connected
all
to
NBA,
all NBA performance. So it's your present
defensive
performance, and guys who miss an entire season due to injury or whatever, theoretically in that they should be sort of punished, as it were, for that. And that's fine for me. It's just, I hate the dead money, and I hate the way that some of these contracts just hold teams hostage.
It all just comes out of desperation because you get these general managers that feel the pressure from up top to go ahead and to make these pushes. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, and we still recently had paid off Gilbert Arenas. He hasn't been on the team for several years, and even when he was on there, he was a bad contract, one of the highest paid contracts in the league, and he had a bum knee. So I wholeheartedly agree with your point in regards to restructuring this deal because, now you're able just to put it on the books, you're stretching it out, but still you're just paying millions upon millions of dollars for these bum players.
Right. Did Gilbert Arenas actually play games for the Magic or no?
He did, but...
very brief, right?
No, it wasn't that much.
Right, that's what I was thinking. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not a fan of the luxury tax either. I think that's absurdly punitive.
But it's better than NFL.
Justify it to me, because I think it's nonsense.
Yeah. You said justify it?
To me, yes. Please.
You don't want a hard cap. You don't want a hard cap.
No, I don't want a hard cap. I want European soccer.
Anybody
can, you
want. But you can't have that.
Why not?
Because then you stack teams. You don't mind stacked teams.
I love stacked teams.
I hated the Kevin Durant going to the Warriors.
I know, it scarred you.
To find a small loophole.
Traumatized you, man.
In the 1 year where the cap went up X amount of money.
Here's what
I hated that.
Here's what I hate, though. I hate that the Warriors may have to kind of disband this current group.
Not necessarily, but they
may have to.
No, they will have to. They will have to.
Right now, I think because of where they're at and how they built up that franchise, like right now, I've seen something where I think they're going to be paying like north of like $400 million for like the luxury tax, and I just think that they have the ability to do it. They have the money, and right now they're coming off a championship as a popular brand. I mean, I think that they seem like they're one of the franchises that has a rich owner that's actually willing to invest into their team.
But again, it goes to the luxury tax. Like that payroll, I've heard anywhere between $400 and $500 million. Without the luxury tax, that could be like maybe $3 million. And like, why are we?
Because of penalties. Yeah.
But why are we having a punitive system?
Because
what does that benefit?
You have to penalize these teams for going over the cap.
Why?
Because we don't want extremely
balance.
stacked teams. You want more competitive balance in the league. The Kevin Durant, listen, nobody was beating that team in the history of mankind sports.
Some other teams stack it up and
I
get
think
the
the
right
Bulls
guys.
would like to have a word.
There are no other right guys to get.
No,
And then you have 2 to 3 teams in the entire league.
I tell you, and that's all you have anyway.
No, it's not.
We literally had a 5-year span of the Warriors going to the
I'm
finals.
talking about that
and playing
literally
the
has a
freaking
chance
Cavs.
because of injuries and whatnot. I'm talking about that literally has a chance. There were about 5 to 6 teams that literally had a chance this year.
And that's okay.
Okay, but then now you're talking about 2 to 3. That's a huge
It's
difference.
not necessarily 2 to 3.
Yes,
It's
if
not.
you say anybody can grab what they want to grab, then you're gonna have a team
Sure.
of LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George versus Curry, Durant, and Ja Morant, and that's too much. Pete.
Let it play out.
No, because then
Let
the
it play out.
76ers, nobody wants to come to cold Philadelphia to play basketball. We're gonna get screwed.
That's why you have the luxury tax. Because it's not about this keeping the cap thing.
Small markets.
It's redistribution of money to shitty markets that nobody wants to play in.
Yes.
So fuck that. People will play where there's good teams.
No.
Yeah.
No, man. No, it's not. No, it's
Then
not
take
true.
the teams out of those places. Put the teams where
in
people want
Las
to be.
Vegas, Las
Sure.
Vegas needs a team.
I mean, we again, we all watch the games on TV anyway. Like, it doesn't matter where they're being played. I mean, they can throw those damn things.
Yeah, but
in,
that's a lot of work to do, Pink. I think you just keep it like
so
it is.
instead, we'll just butt fuck the Warriors' finances.
Yes,
for a few years.
they already have. How many good players do you want? They have enough good
I'm
players.
not
Pink.
even saying add more good players. I'm just saying let them naturally pay guys that have earned it. It's ridiculous that you're going to reach a decision on Jordan Poole, a player you identified and developed.
Well, they may keep
and
Poole, but they're
cannot-
going to lose. They're going to lose
that-
Otto Porter. They're
you
going to lose
don't-
Efra Payton Jr. They're going to lose.
Wiggins.
You don't want to lose those guys.
Yeah.
That's my point. And the luxury tax makes more pressure that those guys get.
Yeah,
pushed
yeah,
out the
a lot
door.
of pressure.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys, like, they flourish in that role. Jordan Poole, I'm assuming that relatively soon somebody's going to offer him a bag to go to a team, and he's a good player. He's not a great player, not unlike Jalen Brunson. They're not the same type of player, but the same level of player. I think somebody's going to overpay him to be the new Steph Curry, and you ain't the new Steph Curry. You're a different dude. They're going to hate you for it and whatever.
But he has to take that opportunity.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But if the Warriors had the ability, without the punitive tax and all the nonsense, to just pay this guy to be eventually the Steph Curry replacement, because the transition has to occur there.
Well, you could make a
organically.
decision. You could move Wiggins to pay Poole. You could do that.
But why? We developed a very strong team. Why do we have to make those decisions?
Those are the rules. We live in a world that has rules, Pink.
Bubba.
We have to go by the rules. And I think this is a good rule.
I think it's a terrible rule. That's my point. And narrow is the mind that can't see progress and reevaluate these things. We can't just, hey, this is the rule. I mean, fuck, we had slavery, Bubba. Somebody had to revisit that goddamn rule. I mean, we've got a lot of shitty rules.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you have a duty to look at these things and say, hey, is this really doing what you want it to do or not? Yeah. And I think the luxury tax is literally purely punitive.
You started off good with the max salaries.
The NBA needle moves with superstar players. That's what moves it. Nothing else does.
Right.
Redistributing money is not going to do it. You get a motherfucking dude, you can win.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so don't, like, again, Memphis got a guy. They might win something. The Warriors were dog crap for 3 decades. They get Steph. Now they win something. That's just, it's going to move around like that.
System